Well, it wasn't nearly so busy as it was 3 weeks ago. So now we're on our way to Uluru. It's 2:44 to Yalara and 2:73 to Wataka, which is Kings Canyon. The roads are all open, as we can see here, so that's good. Okay, we're heading home now. We're 159 k's from Uluru, and it's a beautiful day. We're getting ready to pass these caravans. Windscreen from that bastard there. Shit. Another one just pulled out of that parking spot there. It's a Nissan Navara that's towing it with all that black smoke. That's their EGR valves. So that caravan, second one, this one here, just trying to overtake everybody there. Idiot. Ooh, I'm getting overtaken by a Ford Mustang. Oh yeah, go baby. Big bubble of the VI. Kay and I originally came through here with a caravan one year. This had all been burnt. It was all sort of black. And it just shows you how the bush regenerates. Yeah, it was all black. I remember sort of it was scorched earth. 33 k's left to Yulara. So we'll be there in half an hour. And that would be the rock over in the distance to the left. Coming up is the free campsite that I stayed in on the way over. I'll just be interested to see how much rubbish is still there. It'll be off on the left. It's a rest area. Oh, somebody's just decided they're pulling out. Yep, that'll be right. The rubbish has all been cleaned up. That's very good. And over in the distance is the Olgas from this side. I don't think we got that on the way through. Oh, you can't see them much now. Hang on, when we get over the next rise, we'll be able to see them. There they go. Katajuta is their Aboriginal name. The Olgas, we white people call them. Into Yulara now. Scenes like this from 3.5 weeks ago coming in. From the other end. First things first, we will get fuel and then we'll see if we can get a campsite. Yep. Now we turn left into the resort where that car is, and on the way out tomorrow we just keep going straight. So we actually have seen these scenes on a previous video. Oh, and it doesn't look half as busy, thank goodness. Shell service station, that's a campground entry there, so we'll do our important things first. Line up and get fuel. Oh, we've come the wrong way, that'll be right. I missed the turn off there. Okay, we've got to go this way because the fuel filler is on the right hand side. This is the Ulara camping overflow area. As you can see, down that way there are quite a lot of caravans and rooftop tents and such are here. This of course is our choosing because the nearest conveniences are down behind those caravans somewhere, which I haven't discovered yet. But you'll notice how they're all congregated right along the fence line. And I think this is disgusting because it cost me $30 to park my rig here on this sand. I have behind me some sort of generator plant which will hump and thump throughout the night. Okay, that's my choice. But I think they have a cheek to charge people $30 when you're not going to use their facilities at all, probably, because it's that far to walk. I'll shit in a bucket before I walk all that way. And I suspect people have already done that. If I look at some of the damp patches on the ground and the amount of flies that are hanging around, I think people have actually done that and dumped their shit in the ground. Okay, well, we're going to get our way out of this Ulara camp area. It's a tricky little entrance and exit. I think it's over here somewhere. I actually see a white ute that's going out there where those people are. This will give you an idea of the facilities and things that everybody uses with camping now. The thing I'm looking forward to is a bin. Everybody's heading out towards the rock. 8 o'clock, 8:05. Oh, they're going the other way. Okay, this is where we came in 3 and a bit weeks ago, so now we'll exit. Bye bye. Uluru. WA border open road. Good. light. I think they're actually more spectacular than Uluru. Probably because they have different shapes. Something to see, really. They very spectacular rock formations. Well worth a visit. Border. So here we go. I just passed the sign back there that said you are now required to have a permit to travel to the WA border, which I have. But it just seems a little bit strange that in this country that we have a country within a country now. And you know, me being a white man, I have to have a permit to travel through this because this is traditional Aboriginal lands. And yet the Aboriginal people all want the same rights as the white people have. But they also want to have their own tribal areas as well, so that we get excluded. I find that a little bit off-putting, really, whilst I respect their culture and that they have been there for so long. 40-odd thousand, maybe even 60,000 years. In the modern day and age, you can't have your cake and eat it too. I've just entered the first gravel section and I've gone into four-wheel drive, but I haven't yet reduced the tyre pressures. We'll see how we go. But I know this road does get progressively worse, so if it gets too bumpy, we'll drop the pressures down by 10 psi. Winton through to the Alice Springs turnoff. Given that the Alice Springs turnoff, there is a vast section now that is paved and is a really nice highway, but it has some really bad bull dust sections and quite rocky corrugated sections. Just past a camel and its calf. They've taken off into the bush. No wonder. I was asleep there at the wheel, I think, just driving along. Anyway, a camel and its calf. There'll be more, I hope. Sections of bull dust so far without reducing my tyre pressures. I'm negotiating these okay. And I did coming over at 30 psi, but I think I've got 40 in the tyres at the moment, and I'm really just trying to judge whether it's beneficial to actually drop them down by that 10 psi. I don't think so at this stage, because I don't think there's really that much difference in the ride. about 80 kilometres indicated on the speedo and about 1750 revs. And the tyre pressures are about 40 psi. And it doesn't seem too bad a ride actually between that and the 30 that I did coming over. Time to stop for a coffee, methinks. While we're on the smooth bit. Coffee time. Well, while I had coffee, I dropped the tyre pressures down by 5 psi to 35 psi. So we'll see if that makes any slight difference. Can't guarantee it, but it might make a little bit less bumpy, I don't know. It's always hard to tell when you change something like a tyre pressures and that. It's all subjective, and I suppose we have in the back of our minds when we make a little decision, we think, oh yeah, that's going to be for the best. And to be quite honest, that dropping of 5 psi does seem to me to have made just a very small difference in the ride. Now, having said that, the road conditions change constantly, as you can see, and so that opinion of mine may be just because of the fact that I made a decision to drop it down by 5 psi. I'm going to have a very slightly larger footprint on all 4 pads on the ground, and that might make a difference in the rideability or whatever, how it how the car and the wheels go over these corrugations. But it certainly does seem to me to be a very, very slight improvement. So what it says is it's worthwhile experimenting with your tyre pressures if you're driving on roads like this. There are lots of opinions, there are lots of views on what's the best way to do this, but I think it all comes down to the individual, what you feel is best for you and your vehicle at a given time, and how much load you actually have on the vehicle at that time. I'm carrying a 3/4 of a load of fuel of 70 litres, and I've got 40 litres on the top, and I'm probably carrying another 20 litres of water in the back. So I've got a fair load on board this vehicle, and right now, as you can see from the GoPro footage, we're on slight corrugations, but we're moving along, and we're doing our 80 odd kilometres per hour at about just under 2,000 revs, and it's quite comfortable. So if you're watching this and you're contemplating doing a road similar to this, then play around with your tyre pressures until you find what is the optimum one for you and your vehicle. It's as simple as that. I really am enjoying this driving along this road for a number of different reasons. But it's just to be out here is fantastic. The road itself, and this is the Northern Territory side, which is allegedly the worst, is actually quite good, I must admit, and it is a very enjoyable drive if you like driving in these sort of conditions, which I do. So anybody that ever gets the chance, get your permits and give it a go between Laverton and Uluru in the Northern Territory, WA to the NT. Give it a go, it's well worth the journey. We're up to 100 k's indicated right now. On this particular stretch, we've still got 100 and something to go to the WA border. This is a very good stretch and comfortable. 2022-50 revs. The Jingati River. Get your tongue around that one. Seen the two camels so far this morning, and I only briefly got them, I think, on the GoPro. Maybe I missed them totally, mother and her calf, but I'm sure there'll be more. I've just clocked over 147 kilometres from Ulara, and I just passed a sign which said the WA border is 100. So I'm more than halfway across to the WA border. Bull dusty section here, and I'm still able to do 80 k's quite comfortably, and 1750 revs. This may sound boring to a lot of people, and maybe you'll turn off, but it's my purpose of making these videos is for those who are contemplating and want to know what the roads are like. I always find when I'm planning a trip, people give you descriptions, but it's better if you can actually see what you're likely to be up against. And if it helps anyone, I'm glad. If not, well, I'll watch them anyway, so I can relive my journeys anytime. But I hope that anybody that's watching these might gain something from them, even if it's just the inkling of, oh, I'd like to try and do that. I encourage anybody to get out there and do something. That's an interesting rock formation in front of us. Strange how when you're on your way back you see stuff that you missed on the way over. Mainly because they were at the back of me. I'm seeing this road in a whole new light now. Literally. The Muar River, or the Shore River. Muar or Shore. Terrain is changing. You'll notice there's a line of hills in the front, which we will no doubt go through again. Very smooth driving along here. Puta Puta. That is a camping area across there too, just to the left. I noticed on that thing, it was actually shown on my HEMA map, but I won't be stopping there today. You are given about 3 days to transit this country when you have the permit. If you want to stay longer, the permit process probably takes a little bit longer time to complete, because it has to be approved by the traditional owners, and there are a number of different tribes, particularly on the WA side, who need to be consulted and give their agreement and all that sort of thing. But generally speaking, you get 3 days on the Northern Territory side and 3 days on the WA side, which is more than enough time to actually transit this country. It's It's about 1,100 kilometres basically between Laverton and Uluru, I think, from memory. So it doesn't take that long to get across. And here is only the second vehicle I've seen this morning. Obviously travelling through from WA to Ulara or Uluru. Order 70. Whoa, that's a goodie. This is the Great Central Road, or the Warrakurna Road that we're travelling on. I like the name Warrakurna. Is this a camel? Camel? It is. Look at that. Coming up. Wandering along the road. Yeah, there he is. Look at that old boy. Oh, there's another one on the other side too. I might stop and take some photos. Don't run away, guys. Come back. Oh, you're going to get better. Okay. Right. It's actually worth travelling this road just to see the wild camels, because in all my travels throughout Australia, this road has produced more camels than all of the other roads I've been on combined. And this is actually amazing, because they say there are millions of camels out here, and these and a few others that I saw on the way through are the only ones that I've ever seen, apart from a couple of dead ones on the Nullarbor Plain last year or the year before. Look at these guys. That's wonderful. Okay, thank you guys, or girls, whichever you are. Definitely a four-wheel drive road. An old fella asked me in Uluru, you know, if he could do, and I said, well, it's doable, but it would not be comfortable. And one of the reasons is when you get to patches like this, having four-wheel drive, it actually pulls you as well as pushes you through it. And that does make an awful lot of a difference, I think, to your comfort travelling on these roads. So four-wheel drive. Another vehicle coming my way. of them now. There's a convoy. Pretty little section of road with those nice trees and the hills in the background. God, this is beautiful country. I love this place. A rest spot coming up. This must be it. We have a sign. It's Jewelry or something. Can't quite read. To Julie. Ah, Lassiter's Cave, that's right. We called in there on the way through, so no need to go back again. It does have an Aboriginal name, Julie or something. But we won't need to stop this time because we've already done it. Lassiter's Cave on the Hull River. Oh, ding. Poor old Harold Lassiter, who was searching for gold or something, his camels got away from him and he spent 40 days or something in a cave back there. Google it. Well, we're edging closer to the border. We're now 40 k's from the WA border and home. Well, home state for me. And the road is still in remarkably good condition. I'm currently tootling along at 100 kilometres an hour, would you believe? At 2250 revs. And have a look at that magnificent scenery there. Look at the colours on those rocks with the fissures being accentuated by the blue of the sky. Don't you just love that? Magnificent, absolutely magnificent. I can recommend it. You can't escape people that pull caravans, can you? Shake the shitter out of it. What has he got? Puncher? Right, mate. Wanker. I shouldn't be nasty, but oh god, they drive me crazy. They try to take them on roads and they call them off-road caravan. Oh, don't let me start. Should be roads where caravans are banned. And this is one of them. Take her home on wheels. Why leave home? They're just grazing away. It's actually worth travelling this road just to see the wild camels, because in all my travels throughout Australia, this road has produced more camels than all of the other roads I've been on combined. And this is actually amazing, because they say there are millions of camels out here, and these and a few others that I saw on the way through are the only ones that I've ever seen, apart from a couple of dead ones on the Nullarbor plain last year or the year before. Look at these guys. That's Wonderful. Now we have the odd kilometre of the bitumen as we head towards Docker River, or as they like to call it in Aboriginal, Kaltukatjara. Kaltukatjara. But we will be passing through because we are on our way to Warrakurna, which is on the WA side of the border, and where I camped 3.5 weeks ago, I suppose. And we'll fuel up and then make a decision as to whether to continue, because as I continue to head west, of course, I'm gaining time. The sun is at my back, and I am actually travelling west, so the sun is at the back in the east, and as fast as I go, the sun is trying to catch up. No, it's not. We've just passed the turn off to the actual community of Docker River. We have this beautiful bitumen road. The other side, and there will be more gravel road. There's a sign that says camping, turn left, 300 metres. I don't think so, I think just carry on. No, there's a free camp over there. There's nobody there. Look at that. Unbelievable. Wonderful. Isn't that magnificent? Now I'm starting to vibrate. Here we have the border to Western Australia on the Great Central Road. Of course, this is a photo op. I'm an idiot. I admit it. And I have a lot of big biases against caravans, let me tell you. So if you've managed to watch this all the way through, you can be commended. Okay, we've done the photo op. We're now into WA territory with a different set of warnings. And from memory, we probably have about 20 kilometres of road, which is absolute crap. And I remember thinking on the way through that it was probably the WA government who said, let's not finish that last 20, let's just make everybody coming in here think that we can't do anything. And yet the road 20 k's on goes really good. Much better than what we've even been on, I believe. I think, from memory. Maybe my memory's fading, I don't know. Maybe I've been out here in the desert too long. Certainly sounds like I could have been. Maybe I'm slowly going insane, or are even insane now. Who knows? Maybe this first 20 kilometres or so of road, which is not really as good as it could be, maybe it's like a DMZ, a demarcation or demilitarised zone between WA and the Northern Territory, to say no graders shall be allowed over these sections of roads. I have been out here too long. It's time to go home. I'm starting. I'm talking shit, absolute shit, and I admit it. But hey, I don't care. You don't have to watch. You can turn it off anytime you like. Maybe I should explain why I don't like caravans. Well, when I was a kid, growing up in the 1950s and 60s, my family used to go camping, and we had a 12 by 18 foot canvas tent that weighed a ton, and my brothers and I helped my father put it up whenever we got there. It had great big huge poles, wooden poles. But anyway, that was part of the fun, and we considered it, that was sort of roughing it. So camping to me has always been get out into the great outdoors. You do away with your home comforts for a little space of time while you enjoy what it might have been like for our forebears to travel these countries and these roads and get a taste of what it was like. In other words, this is where you came from. Your ancestors used to do things like this. And what we've done is we now have a whole generation of my generation who cannot step foot outside of their front door without having to take every damned accoutrement they have with them on a holiday. They want their televisions, they want their mobile phones, they want all the modern conveniences. So my point is, if you need to have a holiday like that, get on a plane and go somewhere. But you don't need to drag your caravan across all the country just to prop and show off to everybody else why you have a big home on wheels. Look at this. Here's the classic example. Why do you bother? That's my point. Why do you bother? Why can't you rough it like other people? So that's why I'm saying, if you're offended when you watch this, well then good. I don't care. But I've at least had my say, and I'm doing it my way. And you people just clog up the roads with your caravans, and when you get to caravan sites or camping sites, you congregate around bloody toilets, even though you might have a toilet in your caravan and a washing machine, for Christ's sake, because a lot of them do. So my point is, why are you even leaving your home to travel? Stay home if you can't rough it. And I'm not the only one who shares that view, by the way, because I talk to many people in camping grounds and wherever I pull up, and most of them who travel the same way I do, which is with a rooftop tent, and you suck in the dust at the end of the day and you have to break it down and put it up at the end of every session. They all say the same thing. They can't understand why you would even want to leave home if you can't rough it a little bit. So I've had my rant. and you don't have to watch it, but tell all your caravanning friends that sorry, I'm concentrating here on this road. Tell all your caravanning friends when you congregate around the toilets in caravan parks, and because you can't be two meters away from them, that there are other people to consider when you're out camping. That's why we try to get to the most remote places we can to avoid people like you and your caravans, but it's getting harder and harder. This is part of that stretch that I was talking about earlier, about it being quite rough. I'll probably come through the roughest part, but I do remember this one on the way over. And in fact there were camels. Hello, camels. Can you see the camels here? This one just scurried through the bush because I had to pull up very quickly. Hello guys and gals. Let's see if we can get them a little bit. Actually, this is where they were when I came through, because there was an old couple filming them, just like I am. Well, anyway, we've seen them now. And here we are. I'm going to hold the GoPro out of the window and we'll do a little pan. That'll make a little bit of a difference from the monotony. course. Bad stretch. This should shake the devil out of some caravans that venture across, I would think. Maybe that's what they consider to be roughing it. Turned over the 300 kilometre mark from Ulara this morning, and I'm not actually sure how much longer I've got to go to Warrakurna. I can see it on my HEMA map, but of course I can't read the fine print because I'm driving. I shouldn't be even looking at it, but might be 30-40 k's, I guess. I can see it on my HEMA map, and we are edging towards it, and that will be a stop for fuel. The other thing I was going to say is I have two GPSs, one of which has just crapped it completely. The other is I only programmed it to go to Docker River because that's all it had in its map memory, apparently. So when I get to Warrakurna, I'll see if I can reprogram it, because they give me step-by-step or distances as I'm driving along to how far to go and how far it is and whatever, an estimated time of arrival. And I'm talking shit again, but it doesn't matter, hey? It's hot out here. Some more of the local boys. Oh. Four-wheel drive. Ford four-wheel drive, that one. Good. Dusty. Here's another rooftop tenterer, I think. Yep, real camping. Not even a rooftop tent, just a swag, I think. That's even more campering. Well done. Tenterer or a camper trailer? No? Swag. Well done. Well done. flick my lights on there. Because you couldn't see through the bullshit, bull dust. Warrakurna community soon, where I stayed the last time, and I'll probably stay there again. It's 12:30. I've done 341 kilometres or something, and this GoPro keeps sending me little messages with a red band, which I suspect could be low battery. Yep, that's what it will be. So I need to change my batteries as well. So we'll be there in a few minutes.